I hop in the blocks, you know, and I set my blocks up, I smash my legs 1 or 2 times. You know, I start looking past the finish line. I look past the 100 meters. I'm running a 100-meter race. I look at the end, like I'm running off a cliff, at the end of the cliff and just running off. Crowd can go from craziness, insane, to complete silence. It goes shh. That's when my mind gets right. That's when the gun really goes off for me. And right before you hear, on your mark, get set, the gun goes off. It's like a dream. It's like I'm floating. I just think first 3 steps with my arms, 1, 2, 3, pump in the right positioning. The beginning, the middle, the end, the beginning, the middle, the end, over and over again, going through my progressions. Make sure I'm in the right position. If I can visualize it mentally, then I can see myself doing it. You know, I'm not even looking to the guy to my left. I'm not looking to the guy to my right. I'm looking in my lane and my lane only. I want to make sure my head's in the right position. I want to make sure my hands are in the right position. I want to make sure my knees are in the right position. I want to make sure my torso is in the right position. So I bring my head up. I start driving a little bit more. I start digging deep. You know, I'm not even looking at right in front of me. That's when I start looking way past the 100 meter, way past the finish mark. That's what I live for. That's what you work for. That's what you strive for. You know, that last 30 meters where you burst past everybody else and you cross that finish line and there's nobody standing but yourself. And that's when I cross the line and I look to my left, I look to my right, nobody is there. And, you know, growing up as a kid, you know, I felt like I was always alone. And now as an adult, my sole goal in life is to be alone when I cross that line.
So Blake, I mean, obviously, you know, every time you're out walking around, people are looking at you. How many people, like, stop and talk to you?
And that's what I tell people, like, don't be afraid to ask questions, you know, and that's the situation with disability in America this day, is that people are so uneducated about the situation. And if you're uneducated about the situation, just ask questions. It's okay. I'll tell you about my situation. I'll tell you why I'm different. I'll tell you what happened in my life. And maybe you can take that information and go back and tell somebody that you know that's dealing with the same situation. So what I tell people is, if you're afraid to ask, don't be afraid to ask, because you might miss out on an opportunity to help somebody in your life, you know, through the information that I have to give. You know, I put my pants on, I hid my disability. I just want to be part of the crowd. You know, that's all you want to do as a kid, but as you grow up to an adult, you learn that you don't want to be a part of the crowd. You want to be different. This is who I am, you know, Blake Leeper, you know, a kid that wears, you know, prosthetic legs and has been wearing his whole life, want to be the fastest man in the world with no legs. That's who I am.
That's so awesome. But a lot of people have no idea of, like, how do you put your legs on?
Yeah.
Like, so give us the rundown on
so my walking legs are more stable. I actually have a pin system so I wear a sleeve, and at the end of my sleeve is a pin system. At the bottom of the socket, it clicks in right there, and they have a button on the side that clicks off. And that's just for ordinary, everyday legs, walking around. Like they stay on. They're not super tight, but they stay on. They stick. Now for my running legs, it's a little bit different. So what I have is suction. It's a one-way valve that comes in and comes all the way out all the time. And so what I do is I put the sleeve on right here. Put this sock back on. It's pretty simple. And once I put the sock back on with the sleeve, you see it goes right back into the socket right there. Then it's pretty cool. So you see on the side, there's a valve on this side right here. You really can't see it right there, but there's a valve and it pushes. So every time I'm stepping in the leg, it's pushing out air.
So it's like a suction cup.
It's like a vacuum suction cup. And as you see the imprint of the socket that's attached to my leg. Okay. And every time I'm stepping, that's pushing air in, but air is not coming out. It gets to the point that almost to where if with both of these on, if you was to hang me upside down, I'll just probably sit there all night long.
And when you were playing high school basketball, you were not playing in any sort of running leg. You're playing in your traditional leg.
In my walking legs. And that was the cool thing, is that, you know, I did all my sports, all my workouts in my walking legs. You know, I used to run cross country in middle school. You know, I used to run 2 or 3 miles a day in middle school in walking legs. And, you know, I used to, you know, do suicides and run miles in basketball practice in walking legs. And that's the cool thing. That once I got my first pair of running legs, it's been like I've been wearing ankle weights my whole life. Then finally the ankle weights have been taken away, and I've been able to fly. Then, you know, the first day I was able to get my pair of running legs, it was a truly amazing experience. You know, to have the wind hit my face the way it did, I knew I've never been that fast before, you know, and I was hitting a speed that I've never felt before, and it's like I felt like a little kid again. And people don't understand I've only been able to run like this for 3 years, and that's what gets me so excited, you know, each and every day. That's why I want to train each and every day to be the best, because I'm only supposed to be doing this.